Hello, it's your boy Fucker, whatever. Um, I just got up and took a piss, so I may not be the most lively in this video. Anyways, anyways, um, in this edition, which is Fucker's 31 Days of Creamy Horror Goodness, Volume 2, Episode 5. Um, um, yeah. Episode 5, on the Hammer Reviews TV. Anyways, I have two copies of the film. And this film is Dracula 3 Legacy. Having this 20 film set, which is just what I just bought it so I could have some films to review this month for those 31 days of creamy horror goodness. And I have in this set with the first two, and which this set has four really good movies. Anyways, anyways, I'm a big fan of the Dracula 2000 trilogy. Okay, just before we get into Dracula 3 Legacy, I I love Dracula 2000. I think is the best. I think that the whole Dracula 2000 series is the trilogy is the only vampire series or trilogy that came from the 2000s that's actually all good. I used to be a fan of Blade and Underworld, but I grew out of those films. I do not like Blade and Underworld films because Blade is just not interesting. He's just not an interesting character. His films are boring and just nothing good. And Underworld, the only thing good about it is that you get the beautiful Kate Beckinsale, but yeah, That's not much to write home about. But with Dracula 2000, you get it's pretty solid characters. It takes it takes a old it takes an old takes an old vampire story that is classy, one of the best vampire stories. It makes it suitable. It makes it respectable and suitable for younger for um, the audiences of 2000. And it done a really good job. And I like all the characters. Um, Dracula in the film was pretty solid. Pretty solid, yeah. And you get Dracula. I'm trying to get the proper angle. So you never know. Then you get Dracula 2 Ascension, which at first I was disappointed with because it's nowhere as good as Dracula 2000, but it still is a pretty decent. It's a pretty good film. It has a really good story. The characters are really, good, really good. Um, yeah, it was a good one, and just basically it's just a setup for Dracula 3. It was a damn good one. A damn good one. All three Dracula 2000 films are different and they're unique in their own way. Now, I personally I like Dracula 2000 and Dracula 3 Legacy better than Dracula 2 Ascension. I just feel like they had more going on. But I liked Dracula 2 Ascension. and it's a pretty decent film. They is a pretty decent film, but I didn't watch Dracula 3 Legacy on this set. And I'm a big fan of the director who directed the film. Um, anyways, yeah, I watched it in this set. Hold on. I'm messing up. Hold on. The page is loading. Anyways, Dracula 3, Dracula 3 Legacy, which is a 2005 R-rated direct-to-video 86-minute horror film from a favorite director of mine, a favorite director of mine that I love this guy. I love his films. I love his films. I've seen every single one of them instead of White Noise 2, and let me get into his filmography. He done the Prophecy 3, and I'm a big fan of the Prophecy films. All five Prophecy films are good in my opinion, and he done the most fun one out of all of them. He done, well, we already talked about Dracula 2000 and Dracula 2 Ascension, and we're about to get into an in-depth analysis exclusively for Dracula 3 Legacy in this video. White Noise 2, The Light, I haven't seen that one, but he proved that remakes can be pretty fucking fantastic. With the My Bloody Valentine remake, he did a pretty solid job with that one. I'm like, wow, this guy is proving all those idiots who bitch and moan about remakes and all that junk wrong, because he's proved himself talented with that remake. It was a good ass remake. That and The Last House on the Left remake are two of the best remakes that I've seen. Um, yeah, I like them. Drive Angry is just it's his most just like laid back and just take a take a good easy ride, and just sit back, relax, and just watch and have a fun time. And I like Drive Angry. Drive Angry is good. Um, he's supposed to is He's doing Halloween 3, which I don't know if that's gonna come true. It says it's gonna come out 2018. That's like 5 years away. And I'm a big fan. The Terminator series is my favorite film series, and he's gonna write the script with somebody that has made who written this terrible film called Shutter Island. But anyways, Dracula 3 picks up. I'm I'm uncertain. I'm uncertain of what the particular time that's set in is somewhere close. It's not directly after Dracula 2000 and Dracula 3 late. I mean Dracula 2 Ascension, but I think it's like a few years, um, a few years after the events of Dracula 2000, Dracula 2 Ascension, and basically it's Father Uffizi, who's a pretty badass priest. Um, he shares a few similarities with Blade, and I can see why somebody would get him mixed up with Blade, but see, see, with Blade, he's just there to just be badass, and I didn't really relate to the character much. He just was I didn't really feel like he didn't really emote himself with any good conflict with both Father Uffizi. Uffizi, he has conflict, and his conflict is that he's trying to fight, um, purge himself of the vampire disease. He's trying to purge himself of the vampiric um, things that are going through his body. And I say that's pretty sick. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's a pretty original idea. Original idea. And then yeah, it's just like he shows his conflict and yeah, the banter, or not the banter, but the um the the back and forth conversations between him and Luke are pretty cool. Luke Luke proves himself to be a pretty funny guy with actually a pretty good emotional side to him. Um, he proves himself to be a funny guy with a good emotional side to him, and he just has a lot of things good about himself. A lot of things good about himself. And I think this is Jason London or Jeremy London. It's Jason London. Yeah, who was in the pretty good the Rage character too. And then yeah, they both have their separate goals, but they're tagging along with each other. Um, Father Uffizi's goal is to kill Dracula, and Luke's goal is to find his girl, find the beautiful, very beautiful Diane Neal in this film. Well, she's beautiful in this film. I didn't know if she stood up and stays up to the quality of beautifulness that she was in this film, but I don't know. Yeah, but she was beautiful in Dracula 2 Ascension, and she's beautiful in this film too. And they run into some pretty cool conflicts where they have to fight some rebels, and like have a really cool time. Like they run into this reporter when they are reporter and her news crew, and they yeah. In this film, all three Dracula 2000 films have the sense of dread in them. They're not bad films, but like every single one of them, it has a sense of dread in them. Like, you know that there's a possibility that they're not going to get out of this situation. Yeah, they are good films. They're good films, but they kind of make you the way that they pronounce the characters and have the music cues, and how everything goes out, and how the actors have the great acting. It really shows you that these people are in some pretty shitty situations. Although I don't really believe that the vampires are already bad, but hey, I understand the majority of people think that they're bad, so you got that. But Dracula 3 Legacy has a pretty badass fight between Father Uffizi and Dracula, played by Rutger Hauer. Yeah, I think a lot of fans, I think that he has a little fascination with the character Dracula because outside this film, he played the character of Dracula in other films 2 times. That's pretty decent. Um, Ultimately, oh yeah, and the ending in this film is pretty. It's a sad ending. It's a sad ending because Father Uffizi becomes Dracula because I think Dracula's body was wearing out, and he just transferred all of his energy into a new body, which is which is Father Uffizi. Yeah, it's a pretty good ending. I like the ending, and yeah, ultimately I'm pretty pleased with this film, but nothing can really top Dracula 2000. I understand that's the studios messed it up at saying we want it more like those Scream films, and and he didn't really have a choice, I believe, a choice that I believe. So so he made the film that he wanted to make with Dracula 2 Ascension, and then he made a bonus film with Dracula 3 Legacy that expands on Dracula 2 Ascension. Um, they, yeah, they are good movies. Um, yeah, it's just that I wish that Dracula 2 and 3 could have had the same style as Dracula 2000, because I like Dracula 2 and 3. I think that they're pretty solid films, but I'm just saying that in terms of the most well-made film, the film that actually feels like it's actually a Dracula film, Dracula 2000 is where it's at. Yeah, because yeah, Dracula 2000 is where it's at because it just seems it has a lot more connected to the mythology that's presented in the 1931 classic film that Bela Lugosi played in Dracula. It has the Carfax Museum, has Abraham Van Helsing, has Dracula, has a few little new additions to the mythology, and it just felt like a legitimate Dracula film. Gerard Butler was the best Dracula, and he is the best Dracula to me. And Gerard Butler just did a better job than the other two as Dracula. Yeah, and it's sucky that we have to get rid of Simon and Mary, which are superior characters than Luke and um Luke and Elizabeth. Luke and Elizabeth. And we got to give up on Mary and Simon, which are superior, and actually have a bit of ties. Dracula has a bit of ties with Mary's character, and Dracula 2000 actually had a reason to be there, had a reason that he's doing the things that he's doing. Whereas Dracula 2 Ascension, understand, I respected that this is the director's intention for Dracula 2000. I'll get into that a little bit more. But the thing is that I like Dracula 2 Ascension, but it's just that the characters aren't as strong, and with the whole entire Dracula aspect is very, very vague, and it doesn't. Stephen Billington, out of all three of the Dracula, has done the worst job. he's done the worst job as Dracula out of these three films. Because he has his little, the face just doesn't fit Dracula at all. See, Gerard Butler's performance fit. Everything about him fit as a role of Dracula. Whereas Stephen Billington, I didn't buy him as Dracula. I just found him as like a lonely king, a lonely vampire, just a lonely, typical vampire. Nothing about him screamed Dracula. But it got made up with Rutger Hauer. Rutger Hauer actually did a better job as Dracula. He showed himself. He has all the qualifications that can seriously be up there for him being called Dracula. Yeah. And the thing is that the director's attention was you get your first you get your first you get your first like you get the first portion of Dracula 2000 where they rob the bank and then you get the whole thing of Dracula trapped into the pool area where he has a whole bunch of holy water near him, and then you go back to the way Dracula 2000 was. So it's basically his original intention was to be the first, like, say about 10 minutes or so is Dracula 2000. The first few minutes where they can take Dracula's corpse out is Dracula 2000. Then you get the majority where it's the thing, and then Dracula's out and about like in Dracula 2000. So he never really got to made the official version, but whatever. And Dracula 3 was just a bonus film that he made. Yeah, I'm pleased. I'm pleased. I'm just saying that I'm kind of, whatever. But hey, thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned for more reviews.